Welcome to season 2 of Two Girls Shooting the Shit with Em and Mo. This year, we're working on that energy. Join us as we talk midlife discoveries, spiritual awakenings, pursuing passions, reconnecting with the goddess within, and a whole bunch of other shit. Make sure to follow our socials and join us on Instagram Live Tuesday nights, YouTube Live Thursday nights. If you're looking for bonus content, episode archives, or just another way to connect with us, check us out on Patreon. Thanks for all the love and support. Now let's get to it.
By saying, I have no inherent value. I am nothing unless X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D,
Yep.
Whereas
I make
this
this,
divine
I drive
feminine,
this. Yep.
Yeah, the divine feminine is, I am inherently valuable.
Yes.
Like, just by existing, I have value.
Hey, goddess.
You talking to yourself over there?
I'm talking to you. But yes, I am a goddess too. Thank you.
Yes, queen. Yes. Hey, girl.
How are you? How are
Hey,
you
queen
feeling?
divine.
Oh, how are you feeling about our text messages yesterday? I felt like, ooh, goddess energy.
Oh, I ain't
manifest.
Ain't nobody got time.
I was having good feelings. No, but just like the exchange, like it felt like we were pumping each other. Yeah, I felt good. Yeah,
that was good. It helps. And see, that's why I hate people who are like, oh, well, you need to be happy alone. Bitch, I done been alone my whole life. Okay. Nah, you need to bounce ideas off of people. It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And like a sanity check sometimes, not all the times, you
sanity check. Are you okay?
Exactly. Thank you.
Is anybody checking in on my sanity?
Right. I feel like no one is sane these days.
No, of course not.
So,
no.
I mean, they've never been, but it's like, no, it's so obvious now. No, people gave up pretending to be sane.
I saw something similar that was like, can we just stop pretending? Like some people out there still trying to perpetrate like their lives are exactly the same as they've always been. Yeah. And it's like, no.
I know, even for me, there are little things that I just stopped pretending about a long time ago. And people kind of like, it's almost taken as rude when you stop pretending, when you just say the plain facts of life. And it's like, why do we have to do this dance?
Yeah.
Who told us this?
That's that midlife. I feel like, we talk about it all the time. It's pretty much what we're immersed in, but I feel like you get to a certain point and you're like, nah, I'm not down with the BS anymore. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah. Like,
I don't care anymore.
Like, what's the point?
And it doesn't feel like, it doesn't do anybody any good to fake the funk, right? Like who is that benefiting? Like
little stuff, like telling your friend they have broccoli in your teeth. Like,
please tell me.
Yeah,
please
I'm gonna
tell
let
me.
You know. But there was a time when I was younger where I was ashamed to, because I was like, I don't want to let somebody know.
Did you let me walk around with broccoli in my teeth?
Oh, no.
Probably with spinach. It wouldn't have been broccoli because I wasn't trying to eat on broccoli. Spinach.
Yes, spinach. But it's just like, spinach. Because then the person will be mad because, it's just like,
embarrassing or something.
Yeah, it's like not stepping into your own power and not feeling empowered. And it's like in the long run, you're helping someone. And if they can't see it that way.
Stepping into your own power. What do you mean by that?
Your own sense of agency. So a lot of times we feel like we need to get permission to do things in our life. There's no one there to give us permission besides, government, I guess. But really, there's no one. There's no one giving you permission.
Big brother got to say it's okay.
Right? Dang, get on my nerve. But yeah. So it's like a lot of times you'll go seeking validation or not feeling confident in like the things you say or do. And so stepping into your power is stepping into your personal power, your agency, your ability to act on your own without direction.
I like that.
Yay.
I'm all about that.
What you say?
I said, I'm all about that.
Right? I'm all about it. But then you got to stay woke, because a lot of people don't like that, especially if they met the other, like the more what is it called, insecure side that would not, speak truth to power or something. And it's like, if you're coming for a yes man or something like that, that person it's probably not going to be, but it's still for your best benefit. It's for your, instead of telling you, oh yeah, you're doing a great job when you're doing a shitty job, so you're doing a shitty job.
Yeah.
Bitch, you doing a shitty job. Bitch, you doing a shitty job. And here's how we can fix it.
Ooh, you got your drink. You got, hey. Cheers, boo. Did you get a new one?
Boo. Yeah.
They sent you a new one. Nice.
I ordered a new one. I had to buy a new one. I got to send another one back.
Oh. But isn't it good to have such a big jug like that?
And I didn't even get a brush in it.
I lost my brush. Someone took my brush. Like what they want my brush for. Anyways, nobody knows what we're talking about.
We have the water, this water bottle, big old water bottle, 128 ounces. We're getting our water this year. We're focusing on our energy.
Working on that glow up. Literally, we're going to glow up with the water. Hydration.
Yes, hydration. Got the skincare from Beauty Junkie Glow. Up here trying to look right, feel right. Tap
into that goddess energy.
Yeah. What's goddess energy?
That's my goal is God. Like I've always been on this, like, I'm a goddess, treat me like a, because people are like, I'm a queen. Ooh, I'm not feeling that really. Because that's more so like, what's a queen? A queen just makes decisions and does like, it's just it's HBIC kind of thing, right? Yeah. I'm not trying to be the HBIC. I'm trying to just be worshipped.
Right? Period. I would like to be like the king's side piece. That sounds like the dream job.
No responsibility. No responsibility.
No public face. You get to be loved and everything gifts. You want.
Yeah.
And you're getting all the, money and everything and the conveniences.
Yeah. I like that. I'm okay with
that.
Kept
woman, man. Dang, how I get on this? That sounds like the dream, man. Y'all feminists messed it up for everybody.
I feel like it's, goddess energy, the divine or the sacred feminine. I feel like there is, I was having a conversation with my mom about this because I was doing some research and I'm really tapping into this. And we live in a patriarchal society. Like it's even when I said earlier, big brother, like everything is masculine. And I think that Mother Earth, but like people don't give a shit about Mother Earth, right?
Exactly. Look what they doing to it.
Right? So I think it's important to realize that in a patriarchal society where masculine energy is valued, masculine energy is more like taking action, outward oriented, thinking over intuition, that type of a thing. That's what our society values. And what the, goddess energy, divine feminine, sacred feminine is more creative. I mean, we do create life. It's creative. It's
executive
intuitive.
Is the other one. Yeah. Executive
feeling,
function.
Inward focused, more collaborative. We're out of balance. Everybody's like, I could do it myself. I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to, do the calculations on this and, it's, we're not in balance basically. And so I'm just trying to be, a damn goddess. I don't know.
But don't people have both? Like everybody has a little bit of both.
It's definitely not about gender, right? Because every person has feminine and masculine traits. And I kind of hate that they call it the divine feminine, right? Because it's not, I mean, that's gendering it, right? By giving it masculine and feminine titles, but
divine energy flow.
Something. But it's the traits that we prioritize and that we give value to in our society leave us out of balance. And I think that's when a lot of things go out of whack. Relationships don't work right. Power structures, there's always like some kind of a struggle. It's just we're out of balance. And so I think that's, I guess, at the base, what my goal is right now is goddess energy and just balance the hell out of everything.
Yeah, same. Balance them chakras.
Yeah.
I always want to learn about feminine energy. And it's sad because I feel like for me, I've always been masculine, always been, even when I'm feminine.
What traits do you think are causing you to say I'm masculine?
I don't know. It's just, I don't know, because it's not something that was done intentionally. I'm only talking about how it was perceived by other people. Like I said, like being called sir and stuff like that. And it's just like, huh? Sir.
So you're thinking it's an energy that you're putting off?
I think I give out a better energy than I actually have. And I'm putting judgment on it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say better, like masculine better, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, like, I think I give out some kind of assertive, like, this is my place. I'm reclaiming my time kind of energy sometimes. And I feel like people read that as masculine.
But that could also be feminine. I mean, giving yourself time, claiming your time for yourself can be feminine as well, as part of,
I didn't mean that
goddess
like
energy.
Literally. I meant more like just being sure of myself and like being I don't know, assertive.
I hate that. I hate how these traits are, here my fingers go again. I hate how these traits are gendered like that. Like I don't know.
What's the divine feminine? Me. What's that mean?
Let's see. What do I have here? Sacred femininity, or the divine feminine, challenges the status quo by embracing patriarchy. We create an imbalance. I said that earlier. And divine femininity seeks to heal that inequality by bringing up or honoring the traits that aren't honored in our society. I mean, but I think it's more, I think
it's an energy, huh? And
it's a couple weeks ago we had this conversation. I think it was in a group text, and it was my kind of take on Adam and Eve, and just the way that we are indoctrinated with faith and things like that. I have a real struggle with the way that women are perceived in the Bible, let's say, or biblical type stuff. Like Mary is the mother of God, but she had to be pure and immaculate and
right? That sounds like a finesse. Yeah.
Right. And I swear, this is my belief, that Jesus was married. If Jesus, if all this is real, Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene.
Right. Who gonna let that go?
Okay.
Right.
And they made her out to be a prostitute, this, that, whatever. I do believe he was married. There's like 30 years or however many, 20 years unaccounted for in the Bible. He had children. I don't doubt it. But Adam and Eve, Eve is made out to be this terrible person. She was tempted. She got the apple, gave it to Adam, all this stuff. And punishment for women is childbirth. But I challenge people to think of it in a different way. Like, we have been given the most godlike quality, the ability to bring life into this world.
But I think
punishment.
The more I think of it, what if it meant childbirth? Like they'll recreate.
Whereas they weren't going to recreate before.
Exactly.
And right. It was just going to be them.
You know what I mean? That is our.
It's an odd thing to me. And I still have no idea how Adam and Eve procreated and had 2 sons, and the sons went off and found other tribes and married women of those tribes. Where did they come from? Someone make this make sense, right?
My head,
right?
The origin of mankind, that really, like, I can understand, like, what is it, the evolution,
right,
turning from primate to human and that kind of thing. But what happened in between? Like, I need to know.
But I think I have a problem because I'm starting to, growing up, it was always like, oh, boys are good at this and girls, you do that.
Remember, girls are sugar and spice and everything nice.
Yep. All that stuff. And it's like, what? I have a hard time accepting a lot of the negative associations with femininity. Like, it's weaker and it's not as smart and not as strong.
But I don't know. Like, I don't see that. Like,
but I think that's traditionally what it is, right?
No, like every time I hear femininity, it's always like a powerful, like a old grandmother who knows all the secrets, like that kind of stuff. And it's just like this power
for the family.
Yeah, like it's like a powerful thing that you can't obtain, like, I don't know. Like, that's the way
that's always... nice. That's the way I hear of it and think of it now. I don't think I was growing up thinking that femininity was powerful.
I think I did, but more in a manipulative way. Like, it was powerful, like these princesses and things like that, or, you're dainty, or even if you're not really dainty, you got to be dainty, that's just the way it is. And so those kinds of things I've seen.
That's toxic. Well, I mean, we kind of touched on that
toxic. That's
yesterday, because there was some, toxic masculinity is like a hot topic now. Men are unable to get in touch with their feelings, their feminine energy or whatever it is,
because that's considered a weakness. So that's
right.
It's considered a weakness.
So that's where it's becoming toxic. And on the flip side, something I had never ever thought about before was toxic femininity. And the toxic femininity was like, where did I put? Oh, toxic femininity results in like internalized misogyny, where it's healthy for feminine energy to make you expressive, supportive, nurturing, cooperative. But the toxic part of it is you're so expressive, you're manipulative, right? Like you're manipulating situations.
We just said that. That's
crying to it. Yeah, exactly what you're saying. And then supportiveness to the point where you're codependent. You're getting your value from the support you give to your children.
Yes,
and a lot of women, a lot of moms fall into that category.
Because that's how it's set up.
Yeah.
Like I listen to like the manosphere, and they say they want these women who are like fit, friendly, feminine, agreeable. So like
that's control.
Yeah. And it's like making it so the woman's value is based on the man. Like,
on what they want.
On what the man wants. And he's going to be the provider and everything because of that. And it's just like, and then they demonize the women who are have masculine, what they say, and they said, oh,
assertive,
that's because
powerful,
of the crack, go back to the crack epidemic, blah blah.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah, they'll be reading the Moynihan report. Like
they're putting everything together, anything they can put together to make some kind of a half argument.
Yeah. And so it's just, so it's just like everything is imbalanced. It's like you said, everything is imbalanced.
And balance is the goal. I mean, isn't that just in anything? Isn't the goal to be balanced? I mean, when something's in balance, it topples over, it breaks, it doesn't work, So you need to have balance. And I think I've been reading, I had this book forever, but it's the Introduction to Goddesses. I have those little books.
Ooh, yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, a little bit of goddess or whatever. And a lot of the stuff that they talk about goddesses from all over the world. The concept of a goddess is not new, even though I feel like it's coming up. And this is like, oh, goddess energy and divine, all this tapping into your energy and stuff. But historically, when there were gods and goddesses and all this stuff, a goddess represents creativity. And I tie this into like the sacral chakra and everything. We're fertile, we create. And I think that somewhere along the line with patriarchy, they've changed sexuality to be a negative thing for women. And a lot of these goddesses are celebrated through the act of sex. That's a celebration. Sex should be a celebration, right? And so now it's made, but now we have the Virgin Mary, right? And we have these ideas of chastity and I'm going to save my virginity to give as a gift to somebody.
Yes,
like all of that is control over the divine feminine, because we are so powerful. They have to find a way to control us, period. That's what
I don't know. I kind of, I definitely have thought that before, but now I'm also wondering, is it a public health concern? Is it a overpopulation concern? Like,
they're not telling the men. Different. They're not telling the men the same thing. If it was really about that, they'd be telling everybody.
Because they're taking advantage of those, like you said, those toxic feminine things that you're going to comply. I mean, look at Texas. You're going to comply. There's nothing you can really do.
But that's after decades and centuries of creating this environment in which women have to comply, women have to be submissive, that type of thing. But like when goddesses were about the business, I mean, some of these things I sent to you, I mean, there were seasonal celebrations.
Yeah, they still have that in places. Like, did you see Peru had that big what do you call those? I don't know what it's called. That big installation, like statue or something, and it's like a feminine looking figure with a big phallus. Like,
hey.
Like,
I mean, maybe this isn't about the divine feminine and goddess energy, but I feel like it's connected. There was somebody on TikTok that was talking about female
gametes,
genital mutilation, and they were talking about it from a cultural standpoint, and she was also saying, don't think that you guys haven't done this in the Western world. You aren't physically mutilating her, but you are emotionally and socially mutilating her by stunting her and making her to feel ashamed of her sexuality.
Yeah,
and
shame,
I think
that was part of the Adam and Eve too.
Is a shame, but so we're not physically removing pain or removing pleasure from women, but we are mentally removing that pleasure from women and making it so that it's a dirty thing that should only be saved for your husband, right? So
yes, girl, that messed me up. I think we talked about it in one of my our episodes because I was listening to it, the other day, and it was like where I was not allowed to date, and those kind of like not allowed, this is getting you in trouble, and like nobody gave me a warning or anything, like when it was okay, like when it was okay to do. Obviously I figured it out that it was okay to do, but it's like that delayed me so much because I didn't know. And like, so I'm seeing people I want to date as something bad that I should avoid. And
Right.
so why can't there be a better way? Like, I don't know how the kids are dating. Like, what are you going to do when your daughter comes to you and says, you know, I want to go out on a date? Like, are you going to do like supervised? Like, I don't know how it is. Like, what conversations are you having? Because that's definitely set me back a lot.
Yeah. Well, my
Because I
daughter's
think,
only 8.
but that's
So
what
I
I'm
have
saying. She could
time,
be
I
11, like
think.
probably around 11 or 12. And, but yeah, so it's just like not having that modeling or knowing what to do. I think people assume that you'll just naturally figure it out, but sometimes you need direction and to understand, okay, that's somebody. And I think for me, my mom said something like, oh, like when I was 16, which was very mixed signals. She was like, you know, if you ever get the feeling or anything, you let me know and I'll make sure you have condoms.
The
You know,
feeling. Ever get that?
she
Get the
old school.
feeling. Not
I
the
got
feeling.
the feeling now.
Yeah.
You know, she old school.
Get the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
She
have
was
my
like,
ideas about how I'm going to approach that with my children. But for me, growing up in a very Catholic, very Filipino type household, it was just no. Literally, the answer is no.
yeah,
Anything.
no discussion,
Nothing. No. And it was taboo. You don't talk about it. I mean, we had that period episode last season.
Oh,
I didn't even know
yeah.
what it was or what was happening. I couldn't
So how
go.
did you so you ended up in a successful marriage and stuff. How did you, and you've had
Successful.
relationships?
We don't know if marriages are successful till the very, very end, right?
No, you don't.
But
That's not true. Oh, yeah,
okay,
you're being
explain.
sarcastic.
Like,
Because I don't know. It's like with the Megan Good thing, that how people are like, you know, not every successful marriage has to last a lifetime. It was successful until it wasn't anymore. So it's
yeah,
like,
I mean, as
okay,
long as
that
it's
makes,
working,
yeah, as long as it's working,
I
and the,
mean,
you know,
I
like,
guess.
but that's not the point. The point
Yeah.
is, at some point you understood that it was fine to date, and you know, you were empowered to do it. Like, how did you come to that?
To dating?
Yeah, to like being like with everything you were told no. How did you, you know, come to the point where you're like, okay.
I mean, I wanted to do it. I don't know. People around me were dating. I always had little boyfriends, like, oh, we're together. You're my boyfriend. But we didn't go anywhere. Maybe we
Yeah.
talk on the phone or whatever. But, it's not like we were going on dates um, until we were going on dates. And that wasn't until we had cars.
And so you're at that point, your parents were like, okay, that's fine.
Well, and then it was always an ask before, obviously, ask permission. And then my parents knew everybody. So they knew who these boys were or whoever. And
so
then
you got explicit permission, I guess. You got permission.
Well, I had to ask. It was, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Hey, I want to go out with so-and-so, or hey, can we go to the movies? Or I'm trying to think of other things that we did. Or I would drive myself to meet and do that. Yeah, I don't know. I was a very responsible kid. Like, I didn't do a lot of dumb stuff. I think I could be trusted. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So I don't think mine was anything about trust or anything like that, because I didn't have a life. So it was more never being told it's okay to do, until obviously I, left home and lived in that. At that point, I didn't need to ask permission or anything. But yeah, so never, like, if you tell me no and you never said that I could, then how am I supposed to know?
Until you catch the feeling. See, I never had the feeling conversation, because that was like, you ain't catching no feelings. There's no feelings.
Well, that was my mom. Like, I still don't know if my dad would have been on board, because she kind of, took me aside and said that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's kind of how it goes. I would imagine with my kids, with my daughter, I probably will be doing most of the, and I have so far.
Can you imagine?
That's a little awkward,
Sean,
right?
Hey, girl, you don't get the feeling.
I don't think he'd want to have that conversation. But I've had these types of conversations with my daughter before, not about the feeling, but just about womanhood and things like that. And then with the boys, I mean, I see myself very involved in that as well. But I'm sure my husband will take a lead role in that. I don't know. But I feel like overall, we are told no, like not even from our parents, but just it used to be, or historically, it's just no. And there's a judgment that goes along with it when you are sex positive or liberated in expressing your sensuality, not even just sex, but just expressing your sensuality.
See, I lived in areas, I don't know if it's common, like I didn't look up stats or anything, but I lived in a lot of areas with a lot of high rates of teen pregnancies and things like that. So I was always seeing like,
but I'm sure they weren't looked at positively.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, there goes so and so pregnant.
So that was reinforcement of the badness. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, this is gonna be, this is so
and you
bad.
know what? Those teen pregnancies were probably a result of being told no and not given any information.
Around,
no empowerment, because they were also probably told the way to get a boy and to keep a boy is to do these things, right? So they probably weren't in their own power, stepped into their own power, like you say, to know what they were doing. They were just doing what, maybe codependent, it's a toxic femininity, doing what gets the better outcome, And I think men can be manipulating in that sense. And I don't know if that's a masculine or feminine, but I think from a very young age, maybe times are changing. I think boys would say anything, do anything to get the whoop-de-whoop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, manipulate. So yeah, tell you what you want to hear. But I think that's everything. We just talked about that, like with the princesses and the daintiness. It's just all a game. And I think that's the animal nature of humanity that I just hate it. It's just a dance we have to do. And why, when I'm saying have, like, I don't mean it. Like, why do we have to do this?
Right. But I think that that's what makes studying and learning about goddess energy so beautiful to me, is it's all within you, right? And it's about awakening that energy and that power and that freedom within you, not to worry about all those things that are expected of you. It's to me, I mean, and this may not be what all the scholars and whoever say, but I feel like it's taking but it's taking ownership of your being and celebrating it. It's beautiful.
Stepping into your power.
Yes.
Exactly. Boom, period, poo. It's very timely, like that kind of thing. I noticed for me, it's like, one, I found out about codependency. Two, I started being attracted to all these different like figures of divine feminine. And then three,
don't you even have
took
like
a class,
some sort of a little figurine or something you got and you didn't realize it was representative of a goddess? I remember you saying something.
I have a couple of those. One's not really a goddess, it's just what is it, a defender of the goddesses. And so one's I don't know how to pronounce it, Emoja. And so that's like goddess of the sea and all of this stuff. And then this one is Pimba Joe or something like that, and she's like a warrior. Ain't that some shit? I said, ain't that some shit? Oh, ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? Goddamn. What really got me going about this whole toxic femininity thing is that it really almost dehumanizes women. It's basically saying women are not enough. We're not enough, so we have to forsake ourselves. We have to give all of ourselves and even more to make ourselves valuable. That's one way of looking at it. And then there's another way where we have to manipulate what we have in order to make ourselves valuable, because we're not enough. So how can I manipulate something to make myself more valuable? I'm seeing a theme here. I've seen the Mean Girls comparisons where bullying, depriving oneself of food or basic needs for the sake of others, jealousy, all of these toxic feminine traits. And again, this is not gender or anything like that. This is all about energy and spirituality. So all these types of things and behaviors that really take away the humanity of women when you think about it. So focused on acceptance or so focused on an outcome that they're not being true to themselves. And I think that's why it's so important that when we think about stepping into the divine feminine, is really, and it's for everyone, because we all have a piece of divine feminine in us, or some pieces. And stepping into that is really another form of boom, 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 self-love. And just learning to love yourself, getting rid of those external factors and saying, okay, I'm not willing to sacrifice myself. I want to help the team, but how can I do this without sacrificing myself? I want to raise my family. How do I do this without sacrificing myself? And I think self-sacrifice, for some reason, while it's seen in everyone, has been attributed to femininity, or the divine, not divine feminine, but toxic femininity, because it's saying, okay, my identity is tied into, sounding a little codependent there, but my identity is tied into this behavior and this outcome, so let me do it and get more of it, even though it's not true to myself. And I think that I see too much of this, and this is something that you see in all genders, you see in everyone. And it's something that we need to get rid of, and the only way you can get rid of that is really trying to know yourself. And I will ask all of you is to just sit down, maybe 5 minutes, and write down a list of questions and really ask yourself getting to know you questions. Get to know who you are, because you may think you know who you are, but you may have no idea. A lot of people are out here asleep, and we are all waking up and with this pandemic life and everything. So what have you been doing? How have you been walking in the dark and maybe not even knowing it? How have you been sacrificing yourself and not even knowing it, or maybe knowing it and continuing to do it? What are some ways you can honor yourself? How can you step into your own divine feminine? Let us know. Yeah.
I love how it spans cultures. Because I've been looking online, there's a lot of African goddesses and African goddess rituals that I'm trying to see if I can incorporate into my day-to-day. And then there's also like Irish goddesses, and every culture everywhere has this idea of a goddess, of goddess energy, goddess vibes, goddess power. And I think a lot of it, I feel like women get shit on, like just in general, right?
Only
like
in
we
Dubai.
Could break it down. We could break for the right price. No, but we could break it down to different types of women get treated differently. But in general, with this, with patriarchy, just in general, I think I really do think that more needs to be made of the fact that we literally bring people into the world. Like through us, this is how it happens. And that is divine in itself, whether we choose to or not, which just shows, the power we have to do that. But I think that's amazing. And I think one of the things about goddess energy is it's supposed to be about intuition and, your feelings, creativity, love, beauty, and it's just embracing what is beautiful. And I don't think we do enough of that. And that goes for the body. And I think that's one thing, like I've been feeling myself lately. Like,
yes.
And even every little cellulite or a little extra booty or whatever I'm working with, I'm just like,
y'all don't know. This girl be a little tiny little thing criticizing her
no,
body.
I'm not. Okay.
I said back in the day.
Oh yeah, back in the day, maybe. I'm not now.
Looking but gorgeous.
Yeah, but no appreciation.
Yeah.
And I think now that I don't look that way, but I still think it's beautiful for other reasons, not just to be, aesthetically pleasing for a man,
or for yourself.
Yes, consumed or fashion. But for me, it's beautiful. It's getting me through life. It's created life. It is doing what it got to do,
like gratitude. That's
gratitude. Yeah. I don't know. It's beautiful.
It's so funny how those things kind of always come full circle. Got to have the gratitude, I get, why is that? I guess to feel grounded or to feel connected,
or to just I think the expression of gratitude is just important. I mean, it's understanding that you're not alone in this. You have thanks to give to whoever, your higher power, yourself, your friends, your support, I like that, whoever.
Like a linking. Yes.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. It's an energy too. It's, hey, I'm an energy, like a
It's an
feeling of
empowering
gratitude.
energy as well. I noticed that when I'm in the flow of gratitude and just being grateful for everything, it makes you feel more grounded. It gets you into that sense of agency. Whereas when I'm not grateful and everything, I'm more in a victim mode. I'm feeling powerless. And so I think those are all connected.
Well, gratitude forces you to take stock of what you do have, of a receiving, of an abundance, right? As opposed to not being in a gratitude mode where you're looking at what you don't have and what's lacking in your life. So when you do express gratitude, you're realizing, hey, I have much to be grateful for.
Yeah, it's just a much better energy flow.
It is.
Yes.
I don't like, though, about goddess
dang.
energy.
Dang.
Let me hop onto this. No, but I've been really getting into it, right? And there's images, there's a lot of images of, like, I don't know, Greek goddesses, or like white women on a seashell with long flowing hair.
They all have, everyone to have long hair.
And it's like you said, you had, a warrior goddess. Like you've got, like, I think
she's had long hair too, though.
But I think of like Mulan. And I know that's Disney and it's cheesy, but she gives me goddess vibes. Like, she was doing what's right, standing up for what's right. There's an intuitive nature, trusting your gut. I think that's highly underrated. And I think that's a huge part of
follow your
goddess
heart.
energy, right? Your heart, your gut, your intuition, like feelings.
And people don't understand that honestly, like, as a highly sensitive person, my gut has really been what has carried me through life.
Yeah.
I am an analyst, but still, like, my gut has really gotten me through a lot, because if you listen, it's like God's direction almost. It's so weird. If you really listen to it and trust it and know what's your gut versus like your inner talk or your inner self trying to direct things.
I think I might be in conspiracy mode or whatever, but I think that the fact that intuition is deemed a more feminine quality, or a feminine energy, versus like rational analytical thinking, I feel like that's something that is viewed as not as effective or not as important, but it's very much a skill that women
soft skill.
But it's a skill women have to rely on, right? I mean, again, living in the society, your gut will save your life.
Yeah, trust your gut.
Your gut will save your heart from getting trampled on by some.
My mom used to call it follow your first mind. Right? That's what she would say.
I love that. Follow your first mind.
It works on tests too,
I love that. Yes. Follow your first mind.
Yep.
I like that. That's a bumper sticker or something. Hey, follow your first mind. Yeah, but that's a strength women have living in the world we live in, is we have to trust our gut. Like, you know what? I'm not going to walk down that way.
Yeah.
Because there's like 12 men over there and I'm by myself.
And isn't that an analysis? Like, that's what
it is. But I feel like you feel a gut punch too. You turn that corner, you see a whole bunch of men before you've had a time to process. Like, you're like, no.
I feel like intuition gets judged because it's like a bunch of processes packed up into one little quick thing a lot of times, versus where other people may have to think out something or do a whole
thing. And can explain it.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a full drawn out. Yeah.
Yeah. Like hunting is calculated a lot of times. Like, that's not real intuitive until you have been on the land, understand the different things like that. I'm not saying I'm just going back in time as a vegan.
She ain't hunting no nothing, smoke. Yo.
I'm hunting that. Let me stop. But yeah, it's like, and that's how I try to explain intuition to people. It's not just like going off the cuff or anything. It's a bunch of different processes happening very quickly. And it's like an instruction, like, here you go, like God's instructions. Here you go.
Yeah. Your first mind.
Your first mind.
I love it. Okay, Mama had all kind of stuff. You get them feelings.
But yeah, that's what I meant.
Trust your first mind.
You got to trust what's your intuition versus what's your ego. And I think that's the hard thing, because sometimes your ego wants to protect itself. So it will take something that you think is intuition, and that's just a completely misinterpreted something. So got to trust your gut, your truth. But I feel like even with that, because something won't sit right in your stomach. That's how it is for me, at least. That's how my gut is literal. Like, and I noticed that, like, I just did that. I noticed that when I'm talking to people and I don't feel firm and strong, my voice starts to, and I have no control
Yes.
over it.
What?
And I'm
You
like,
get a little
why?
shaky.
Yeah, it's like I have to be comfortable, I guess. And it's like, so I think that's why I'm like saying no to things that aren't making me comfortable. Maybe that's settling in life, but it's just like, I don't like that. And then I also have to ask
I don't
myself,
like that.
why aren't I doing that? Is this my ego feeling a certain way and not allowing me to speak my own voice? I hate that.
Mm.
I remember this happened to me the other day, talk about divine feminine and stuff. I was on a Zoom thing, like a Zoom appointment, and it was an older Black lady came on real quick, no hello, anything, just very like to the point. And I was just like, like I couldn't speak. And I'm like, I don't want, like, and then I'm calculating in my head. I'm like, oh no, I don't want her to win. Now she thinks I'm weak. She
Win?
probably did. Right. Like, yeah, I was like,
going
this is
to
not even
war every day.
right. And I'm like, what the hell? And it was like, oh, she probably loves making people feel it. Like, then I'm just going down the slippery slope. I'm not paying attention to this point, what's going on. And then she was like, thanks and goodbye. And I was like, oh yeah, have a guys. And she had already hung up. And I was like, oh, I lost. So that was definitely ego based. Was it just her matter of factness, like I was saying earlier with me? Like, was it just her matter of factness that, like, in her lack of niceties that, which are fake anyway half the time,
right?
That
Practice,
really
yeah.
Like, she's probably working by the hour. She's trying to get like, okay, I gotta go. Bye, I gotta go. Let's close them. So
see, that's the stuff. That's why I got a half an hour before I got to get on a call or do anything. I got to practice just things I would say. And then I don't end up saying them anyways, but just feeling like I'm prepared and like ready for war. Social anxiety is not the business.
Right. We be feeling like we at war. Like, this is not a war. Then created a whole war in my head. This lady, the whole beef. Yeah, now I got beef with Jill.
And she ain't thinking about you.
Right.
She's doing her own thing. Or maybe not. Maybe she is going to war with you. She got the same thing you got.
Or maybe you never know. Maybe she got, billed for 15 minutes and just wanted to knock it down 3, like, I don't know how this works.
Oh my gosh. Well,
divine feminine. Well, I want to tap into it. And I also noticed that a lot of times one of the controversial things people talk about is women are too masculine these days, and they think that they can turn it off when they meet the right man, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is a cis het conversation topic. I mean, and so thinking about that, it's like, that's like, as a human woman, like female, whatever it
is. As a human woman,
like, for my own personal oneself, I'm not speaking for anyone else. I feel like, I don't even know how to put it. I do have that capability to submit, and that is actually more comfortable, like being able to submit and saying, I trust someone so much that I can let down my guard and be submissive and blah, blah, for the greater good of the.
What does that mean? Be submissive?
Not being stuck in the ego and then like my way or the highway, basically.
Is that submissive, or is that just not being egotistical about things?
Yeah, but I think that's the way it's been phrased. It's just not being, because a lot of times if you're not submissive, what that means is like that you are starting fights, like, doing all of these things, negative type.
I have to
things.
disagree with the way the wording is. Like, I feel like
for me, I'm not saying submissive like yes master, like I don't think that's not what I'm thinking.
Well, I think the word I would use would be more, and this is along the lines of goddess energy, is more collaborative. Not necessarily submissive, but just because that's how I view my relationship.
In the collaborative bubble. Yeah.
I don't think that anybody is submissive, but we are collaborative. We take roles, we do things we need to do. And if somebody is lacking, we talked about this yesterday with that video clip. If somebody's lacking, if my feminine energy is off, my husband will step in and do some of the nurturing and some of the thing. And if my or if his masculine is off, like I'll step in and do. So again, it's not supposed to be gendered, even though we use masculine and feminine, like the language is wrong. There needs to be better language, but it is like a yin and yang, right? Like it's a balance.
Oh yeah, yin is the feminine. Yeah, the feminine energy.
Right. So there's a balance, and I think that in relationships and in your personal being, there needs to be a balance. When there isn't a balance, things are not right. So
yeah, but I think again that comes from like insecurity and things like that. So a lot of people are so programmed to a culture that doesn't even exist before, where men, well, obviously it does exist, where men are the breadwinners and the women are at home and everything. It's like that. I feel like, I don't know what you may know more than me what the statistics are, but it's not the same. Like, it's, if you have two couples and both are working, the men still expect the woman to run the house, to still cook. Like,
I
a
wish you
lot
could
of
see my
people,
face, listeners.
a lot of people still expect this, and it's just like,
The majority of households function that way. And I think
yeah,
that it's like this, what do they call it? The second shift, the third shift, whatever. Women carry a load. And it's,
yeah.
if you're staying at, I mean, I stay at home, so that's different. But I guarantee if I was working, I would still have to
But
come
you're still
home.
working on the podcast and stuff,
Right,
so I
right. But
guess
if I was
that's,
working a 9 to 5, working like a
yeah.
traditional, and not a nine to
Hmm.
five, but if I had, whatever,
Hmm.
whatever traditional job, I would still be expected
Retreat.
to do, not expected, because I don't want to say that my husband expects it, but society expects it, that
Yeah.
I would
And
do
so
the
you
majority
expect
of
it
the
of yourself,
parenting,
huh?
the
Yeah.
majority of the cooking, the cleaning, the this, the that, um, the traditional,
Yeah.
roles of a woman. And that's what's been
And then it's
decided.
almost shamed in men. Like,
Yeah.
if a man said, I want to stay home and take care of the kids, then the woman is shamed. Oh,
Well, there's
that's
too
why you
much
have to be
shame. There's
rooted
too
in
much
your,
shame everywhere.
that's why you got to get rooted into your divine feminine, so you can say fuck
Hmm.
shame.
And fuck
Because
you
once you get
too.
rooted in
Yeah,
that, you are so, you
like,
know who the fuck you are. Like, that's part of
right?
that knowing, when you know who you
Yeah.
are. And it's just like, I don't care. Like, unless you're gonna do something like that's gonna harm my family or myself, like harm me, like that's different. But
Hmm.
other than that, don't, you gotta live
Well, I
your
think
life.
there's a lot, and this is a realization, not a realization, a new one, but just there was a lot to be made of me not working. That was like a big
Mhm.
thing. Like a lot of people in
What do you
extended
mean?
family had opinions on it, right? Oh,
Oh,
you went to school for so long and now you're just sitting at home. Like I'm
oh, I
just
get
sitting,
that too. It's
you
anybody
know?
who doesn't do what they studied.
Right. But I'm not financially, you know what I mean? Like there's a value judgment
Mhm.
made. Um, and to me, it's like, you know what, like you just said, if this is what's best for my family, okay, you do what's best for your family, make whatever choices you need to make.
Yeah, I
If
don't
and when
cook
the
what
time
you
comes
eat.
that I need to work or I need to do something for whatever reason, then that's what we'll do. So we're making decisions based on our unit, and it's really not anybody else's business.
Period. Poop.
Yeah. So that's, I feel like that's a big thing for women, because there's a lot of judgment
Hmm.
between, and it's almost like somebody, I don't know who, is pitting working moms against single, or not single moms have their own situation everybody's getting on them for, but working moms, stay at home moms, and it's
Hmm.
like there's a battle between the two, when it's like, what for what,
Yeah,
so everybody just needs to relax.
exactly. But anyway, like,
Yeah,
my whole point
anyway.
is, like, if people are expecting all of that from you, and then some, I feel like, how are people supposed to uphold their own sanity if they're trying to meet these fake expectations? And you know
That's
what?
not
Like, I think
important to people.
you exposed it on TikTok. Like, a lot of people are like having meltdowns. Pretty much, they'll like go in the bathroom and be like, "Oh my god," their house is everything is perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but they are like in hell.
But they're a mess.
Yeah.
That's toxic femininity too. That's another trait of toxic femininity. Nurturing is the healthy part,
Mhm.
and cooperativeness is healthy. But when it's out of alignment, nurturing can lead to self-neglect. You're nurturing and
Mhm.
taking care of everybody around you except for yourself, right? Cooperativeness can lead to agreeability. Instead of cooperating and collaborating, we're submitting and becoming more agreeable. Whatever you want. What do you guys want for? Oh, what do you want to eat? No, I want tacos. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why can't we do that? Why can't we say what we want to say and be who we want to be?
Yeah, without feeling. And I think that goes back to another one of those kind of spiritual tenets or whatever, is unconditional love.
Mm.
And that's saying, like, for the most part, I mean, everything has a condition, I think, but for the most part, generally, being in that security and that safety to say, I want a taco, and not thinking
Mm-hmm.
some kind of, like, we went back to the spinach in the teeth or whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
that fear of retribution or something, and they're like, what the heck? Like, no, you can use your words, people. You can communicate and express yourself. Like, I don't
And that's
know.
okay. It doesn't mean
And that is
anything more than
okay.
just you
It doesn't make
expressing
you
you as
less
an
of a
individual.
person.
Yes.
And because I have been around people like that, and I didn't know how to, like, I did not understand what was happening in the moment, and I didn't know how to articulate it. But they almost got off on like giving everything of themselves and not having a self. And it's just like, dang, I appreciate you, but dang, you gotta do you, boo boo. You gotta,
That's a lot of mothers, I know.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get lost in that trap because your value and your worth, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, your value and your worth is through these children and the house you keep and the image that you portray,
the fruit of your labor, fruits of your labor.
And there is a shame or a stigma if you literally need to sit down. Hey, I need a nap. Like, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Oh,
You're
that's
not allowed to have
you
that.
napping? Oh,
you lazy. You not working
what?
and you taking a nap, like that
that's
kind of
just
stuff.
America
it's like,
too, though. I feel like that's cultural. I feel like America, you have no value. We always say this. In America, you have no value unless
outside
it's
of money.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what are you contributing to the GDP or whatever, the economy? That's it.
That's terrible. And I
Isn't
feel like that
sad?
is in direct conflict with just how I view living life. Like that's not the basis by which people should be judged.
No, but it's the way people can be controlled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
who does sheeple now? No, I was kidding.
Right.
Let me sub.
But it's exactly how people can be controlled, but by saying, I have no inherent value. I am nothing unless X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, like, whereas
I make this, I drive
feminine,
this. Yep.
Yeah. The divine feminine is, I am inherently valuable.
Yes.
Like, just by existing, I have value. And I feel like they took that away from America. Every other country, I think, not every, but a lot of other countries have that. Like, where my Euro boo? Euro boo. Hey, Euro boo. Ha ha.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay, Joey. Joey Lawrence. That's one that got away.
What happened to him? I gotta look him up.
He used to be so cute. Now he's
oh God, I'm scared. Whoa.
Are you gonna Google it?
Of course. Whoa.
I mean, he aged like everybody else.
Oh, he cute. What you talking about?
Current day?
Yeah, today, people be going to that zaddy stage.
Zaddy, okay.
Be in the zaddy stage. Zaddy.
What is this?
Yeah, he Chippendales and stuff. He looking good in the neighborhood.
He looking like plastic surgery overload. What he looking?
Oh wait,
like?
I didn't look close. Let me look at the face.
Oh no,
his face is cute. What you talking about? He cute. Okay, I agree to disagree.
He trying to look like Justin Timberlake. He's trying a little too hard.
I was like, he looked familiar. Like
that boy band look.
No, he kind of giving me like Latin, like
Ricky Martin.
Yeah, like a cross between Ricky Martin and Pitbull, like right in the middle. I'll send you the picture I'm looking at.
Yeah, please.
Let me share my screen because I don't know how to do that. He looking good in the neighborhood. Yes.
I'm gonna disagree with you wholeheartedly, I'm sure.
No.
But look at the one just below and to the right.
Yeah, what's the date stamp though? Oh
look
yeah,
at all that makeup and
is that a
surgery.
contour? He got a contour.
Right?
He got a contour. Not the contour.
His makeup looked better than mine.
Right? Yeah, that's looking real fake. But that other one was cute. He looked like he was ready to go sing.
Men in makeup. What do you think about that?
Do you, boo boo? I'm really like, unless on everything except veganism, I think, unless it's not killing. Well, that is killing people. See, bam, that still falls in my thing. Unless it ain't killing nobody or nothing, it's not taking away my money or taking away, even if it is sometimes, because sometimes you got to sacrifice for the greater good,
right?
But it's like, as long as it's not, like messing with me, what do I care? And like, it's not messing with the greater good. What do I care? What's this putting on makeup gonna do? That's gonna help somebody.
I saw TikTok. This is why, and I saw a man. He just came out of the shower and he was getting ready and he blow dried his hair. He had longer hair and then he flat ironed it. He kind of had some texture to his hair. I don't know what ethnicity he was. And he flat ironed it so he could style it. And then he put a little concealer like under his eyes and he had some spots. and he looked good. I mean, you couldn't tell that he had makeup on or
Yeah,
whatever. I'm
you
like,
do.
okay. I don't need to know how long it takes you to get ready, but if it comes out like that, that's cool. Okay.
Right?
You know,
Do
I don't know.
you? That's something I get jealous of though. Why aren't men wearing makeup? Why do women don't?
Yeah.
As you
Can
see,
you
like
be
I
cute
don't
for me
like,
too? No.
yeah, like I wear makeup sometimes, but I really try not to because I'm like, if y'all ain't wearing it, I ain't.
It's all about the way the society has been set up. We
Yeah.
cannot have gray hair. Men with gray hair look
Mm-hmm.
distinguished. Ooh, look at him. Ooh. And then you have to look young.
Mm-hmm.
Females, after a certain age are not valued. Your value plummets, right? So
Yeah.
youth,
By society, we know that
right,
ain't true.
right. We don't buy into that. But
Yeah.
just, you look at the magazines, you look at stuff. I mean, they're trying to have like diversity as far as age is concerned, diversity in
Yeah.
appearance and things like that. But I think it's going to take many generations for us to get used to that. Because if you grew up looking at like whatever we grew up looking at, seeing it now feels
Oh
like,
God,
why
we
are you
were, yeah,
pandering?
we looked at,
Right.
like, it's no wonder, like, I struggled with weight and stuff the way we grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was unrealistic.
Very,
And I feel
especially
like,
in the 90s when who was the Calvin Klein, Kate Moss,
yeah,
like
that was the
little itty
thing.
bitties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
who
there was
can
a
be that?
spike in eating disorders when that happened,
That's sad
like,
though. I feel like that's when the family needs to step in and be like, this is unacceptable. And I think that's why it needs to start with kids, giving them that root grounding that I am like that little boy. I always love that video. I should
with his
bookmark it with
affirmations.
and he's just walking down. I am strong. I am whatever he was saying.
Oh,
And it's just like, yes, you are. And you say that every day and you believe it. And it's
it's
just
going to
like
keep happening. Because I mean, for us, it was eating disorders with the waif models. Now people dying
on
getting
TikTok.
BBLs, getting
Yeah.
BBLs. And you know what? When a big booty's not in
Dying
style
for a big boot.
anymore, what
Yeah.
you gonna
Then you're gonna look
do?
dumb. Yeah. Then people looking
Right?
like cats and stuff.
Then you go look
Yeah.
dumb. When a big booty's not in style anymore, then you gonna look dumb. Yeah. So I think that's also, I mean, bringing it full circle back to goddess energy. It's appreciating the beauty within you without feeling
Yes.
like, and I,
Oh, that was just, I felt that.
but I feel like everybody, to each their own, if you want to have plastic surgery, whatever, but know
Yeah,
that,
Yodo.
but know that you're beautiful regardless.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? There's something
Amen.
beautiful about you. You don't have to look like everybody else,
Yes.
so,
A to the men.
and appreciate
Period.
it,
Poop.
you
And it's like there's no formula. There's no formula.
Mm-mm.
Do you and be firm and secure in yourself, and the world
styles
opens up.
change. Things that are attractive
Exactly. And
change.
who cares
Body
about
types.
styles?
But all of that is it's fleeting. I don't know the word.
Yeah.
It's fashion. It's trending.
Yeah.
It's not consistent. What's consistent is you loving yourself, like,
yes,
no matter what the change is. Because I mean, I may be in style one day, and then you gonna be in style the next day, and then Kate Moss gonna be in style the other day, and like, what are you gonna just keep changing yourself?
No, I think that's when they start self-deleting, because that's like these comedians and stuff fluctuating and stuff. And it's like, if you don't have that firmness in yourself, and it's like, boom, period, poo. It's all about like self-love.
Yeah, we're about the self-love.
And people get so mad. They get so mad when they hear self-love. Isn't that crazy? Like, they're so perfectly programmed.
Or it's just also, there's a fine line. There's self-love, and then there's you being an asshole. You know what I mean? Like love yourself without feeling like you have to. And that's a part of goddess energy too. I was reading something and it said some of the ways to tap into and awaken the goddess energy within you is power and collaboration over rugged individualism. So realizing that you can work together and collaborate and be part of a sisterhood or like a community.
It's just finding the right people is the thing.
Right. But cultivating your divine feminine energy within.
What's that mean?
Rather than using that power to lord yourself, like over other people, manipulation, etc. Yeah. Exactly. So just feel that within you, but you don't have to be putting people down.
There's no
to build your
there's
energy.
No transaction necessary.
Yeah.
Just be it for the sake of being it.
Yes. I like that. Because we always think we got to give, we got to get.
Yeah, that's the American way. I'm telling you, we have to. Excuse me.
Totes. We totes can't stop. Yeah. And then just connecting with nature, wearing things, doing things with yourself that make you feel beautiful and valued.
To yourself. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of rituals I was looking at.
So
I want to say Oshunta. Why am I forgetting? But there's like a bathing ritual.
Mm.
Sage and certain aromatherapy and flowers and things like in your bath, like just things you can do to nurture and love yourself, that will help you tap into goddess energy.
Yes. Tap in, tap in. I'm trying to tap in. Like I step in and people think I'm a dominatrix. Like I need to figure out what's a stepping in. They do be
take your
calling me
power,
goddess.
girl. Yes.
Right? And like, y'all gonna pay? I mean, if you're gonna be calling me a request and all of this, I'm like, if this is what the marketplace wants, you know.
Everybody got their own kink.
Right?
Who knows? You might like spanking somebody.
I think I would. I think I actually would enjoy it. Pop!
But where's the there's a shame to that too, or maybe like a discomfort because
it's a shame, not a shame for, but it's like I want to know is this okay? Like, is this coming from a place
you say it's
fun?
Okay?
Oh no, for them, is it coming from a place of fun or a place of hurt and trauma? And I think that's what I think about. Oh, I used to get beat, or, like, or something, like I'm overanalyzing it, but or
maybe that's just how it feels good.
Yeah, maybe like if it's just that
it can't be beyond just feeling good.
Yeah, if that's the case, that's different. But like how few, I mean, I don't know the statistics.
So you could have a whole practice. It's not
I
even
like
sexual.
That practice.
Yeah, no, have a whole practice and just whatever.
Private practice. Hey.
Yeah. Because that's not sex work.
That is sex work.
No, but if someone just wants to get spanked,
it's still considered sex work
because it's sexual.
Yep. Burlesque is even considered sex work.
Oh yeah, I remember you.
I learned that in my burlesque class.
Oh hey, see that I feel like is a way to tap in. Dance.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I did around the same time too. It's like your body naturally just starts driving you to these feminine things, like
connecting with energy,
with
energy
yourself,
and not energy. Connecting with nature is also a way to tap into your divine feminine and your goddess energy.
Amen. Yeah. So what's well, I guess when you're talking about the masculine, but how do we tap into that?
The masculine? I think we're programmed to do that already. School,
but in a
and rigid, analytical. I think that's something that everybody is programmed to do. And I think that's why it's so important that we find a way to step into what we've been denying ourselves, which is the ability to express and to celebrate intuition, feeling, creativity, that type of stuff. So but I don't think there's a problem with tapping into your masculine. For the most part.
I don't either.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Two Girls Shooting the Shit with Em and Mo. Please enjoy this mindful moment. Not everyone will understand your journey. That's okay. You're here to live your life, not to make everyone understand.